welcome to another episode of CJ Discovery. This week we had Thanksgiving. We went over to Josh's grandma and grandpa's and we had a really good meal with some good food. Josh, what is something you were thankful for this week?
I was thankful that we drive safely to my grandma's house and back because it was snowing some.
So because it was cold and snowy? That's a good thing to be thankful for. This year I feel like I have a lot to be thankful for, but one of the things that always sticks out to me is that I live in a place where I have electricity and I have heat when it's cold and I have warm clothes and I have food to eat and I have a shelter, and those things, they seem to us like they're such a normal part of life, but for everybody they're not. So this year I thought I'm really thankful for those things. But as we finish Thanksgiving, now we're moving into the Christmas season and now it's time to start thinking about presents. And that kind of led me to this kit this week because I thought it's always fun to make presents for people. This week we have water candles. And it is by CK Crafts. It's another kit that I got from Hobby Lobby. It cost $12.99. I will tell you right up front that initially when I looked at this, the picture on it made it look to me like they were gel candles. They're not, and that's okay, but because it does say water candles, I can read. I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that they're always going to have liquid in them, but they look really pretty, so we're going to get into this and see what it is. Well, it looks like we have a bag with all of our stuff in it. The instructions, cardboard, always cardboard. Okay, now in the bottom you're going to have 3 little votives. These are the candle holders. There are 3 of them. They are wrapped. They are not extremely huge, as you can see. They're really just votive holders. So we got it all open and there are 3 little votives. A bottle of canola oil. They call it candle oil, but the instructions actually say it's canola oil. This bottle is actually really greasy, like it has leaked everywhere. That's wonderful. There's a little bag of seashells here. They mostly seem okay. There's a few that are broken. There are 4 different color sands, a wick, a little bitty funnel, and these little plastic trays that are for you to stick the wick into. We've gone ahead and read through the instructions. They seem very basic and very easy. My concern actually comes to when we go to put the wick in, since you have to be real careful about how you do that. I don't know how difficult that's going to be. A lot of the kit just seems to be decorating. You probably are going to need some scissors and some water for this, since you're going to need water to fill this up once it gets the sand in it. So we're going to move forward here. Josh is going to start decorating. Josh is going to go ahead and cut off the tip here. He's cutting off just a little corner so that when he pours it, it doesn't pour a ton out. And now he's going to start making his pattern in his little votive holder here. The instructions do say that you could use your funnel if you wanted to try to make it go in smooth. I finished layering this one. All I did was really just pour in different layers. They give you a funnel to try to, if you want to make it smooth. You could also pull out a toothpick, like I said. And one of the things that you can do is push the toothpick down along the side like this if you wanted to. And you could do it as you were layering the stuff, if you wanted to, so that each layer did this, but you could create kind of dips and turns in there. See that? This looks really cute. Like I said, they're not very big, and you want to leave enough room at the top. You're going to leave enough room at the top for the oil and the water. Josh and I have both finished 1 candle. Well, we're going to finish the 3rd. This is the place where we run into trouble with the instructions. The instructions have these little votives with curled tops, and it talks about filling the water to the bottom of the curve. Now as you can see, these look different and don't have that curve. So you're kind of playing it by ear on where you're supposed to fill it to. There's not really a clear space. You just need to leave yourself enough room for the water and then a little bit of oil. The next step is that you're supposed to put the bag of seashells. You're supposed to decorate on top of the candles however you want. I'm going to let Josh pick which ones he wants to do first. Yep, I think that looks great. Now that we're actually looking at these pieces, the broken pieces actually probably work better because like there's this shell that's completely whole, but as you can see, if you put it in there, it would take up almost the entire thing. So when I complained about the pieces being broken, it's probably actually better that they're little pieces because then you can kind of create more of a mosaic look to it. As you can see, he's done quite well here with that. We have our candles all filled with all the shells in it, and now the instructions say that we're supposed to put water in it. Like I said, the instructions kind of say that you're supposed to fill it to a crease. There is no crease in these. It does say as you pour it, the sand is going to get wet and heavy. So I'm kind of trying to give it a minute. You're supposed to leave enough room that you can put a layer of oil on this. And since this is a candle that you're supposed to be burning, I'm kind of nervous about having that oil too close to the top. We'll see how that does. Some of my sand is floating on top of the water. We gave our water a little bit of time to soak in. It has gotten a little better. I'm a little uncomfortable with this part because I don't feel like I don't feel very confident on where the water is supposed to be filled to. This is after you get the water in there, you're supposed to put a layer of the oil on top. It creates a nice layer of oil on the top. If it starts to mix, it's going to separate. The key to this seems to be that you cannot get the wick into the water. The instructions tell you to make sure that you cover the top with a layer of oil. Here's the thing. I wish that they would have added some sort of coloring to the oil or coloring to the water or give you coloring for the water. It's real hard for me to see in the situation where the oil sits. And the wick cannot go down into the water. So we're going to try to figure this out. I split the bottle between the 3 candles because it just tells you to cover it with a layer. It doesn't tell you how deep. It doesn't tell you how much oil should be in each. But we're trying to do our best here based on the instructions that we're given. After you've got all the oil in there, it gives you these little plastic trays with a hole in the center, and you're supposed to put the wick in here. You're supposed to cut the wick into 1 inch each and put it into the tray, and then you have to put it on top of the oil. The tray is supposed to float on top of the oil with the wick in it. We're going to see how that goes because I think I've said this before. I don't have a lot of confidence in this, but I could be wrong, right?
Yep.
Alright, we're going to do it. I'm a little nervous because I'm looking at these trays and there's nothing, when you put this through here, there's nothing holding it on the other side. So it seems like it's just gonna go falling out. Also these trays are just plastic. Have I mentioned I don't have a lot of confidence in this?
Yes, you have. 5 million times.
The instructions say you need to stick this little wick down in there just far enough that it sits into the oil but not into the water. So here goes nothing. Yeah, that's kind of what I expected to happen. I finally realized I was doing this wrong. I had been putting these side up. It actually needs to go down. They're like little legs that help it to sit on top of the water. That makes a lot more sense too because it makes it easier to not get it down into the water. Alright, here goes the moment of truth. We're going to see if we can light our candle. And I'm going to light this one. Okay, we've lit all 3 candles. This one seems a little hesitant to burn, but it is burning. This one's going. They are working. I'm going to give them a minute here to give them time to burn down and see what happens. Nope, this one got a little brighter now. Nope. Bye-bye. It's been about 2 or 3 minutes since we lit our candles. 2 out of the 3 have gone out. Mine is still burning with a teeny tiny little flame there. It's just a little baby flame. I'm afraid to breathe on it. Since these went out, I can go ahead and pull them out. I'm sure that what happened is our wick probably got down in the water. It was so hard to tell that the wick has also burned apart, and this plastic has burn marks on it. If you look, you can see the burn marks on the hole in there where the fire has touched the plastic and it has burned through the plastic there. So it was not only hard to tell whether the wick was down in the oil or the water. These were so tiny. We could have put less sand and then maybe been able to see the water or the oil a little bit. I tried to judge it kind of by the cover, since the instructions said that there would be a lip and there was no lip. So I kind of went by the cover and looked at how close they were to the top. That is also honestly where I got the idea that the legs should stick up. Because if you look closely, these things right here are the legs sticking up. And as you can see, I don't see in those pictures really where the oil is and where the water is. So maybe I was supposed to flip those legs over, but when I did, the wick just kind of went straight through into the water and it was messy. Now the whole time I've been talking, mine is still burning. It is still lit. It is still running the way it's supposed to be. I'm going to go ahead and blow it out.
No.
It too, even though it worked properly, because it's been burning so long, it has even a bigger hole in the plastic than the other ones did. I can tell you the whole time these have been burning, they've smelled kind of like burning plastic. I've obviously said many times I was not real confident in these. Before I give any more of my opinions, I am going to ask my partner in crime here what he feels on this kit. So, between a 1 and a 10, what do you rate this kit? 1 is the worst kit you've ever experienced, and 10 is the best kit you've ever experienced.
4.
4. Why do you think it's a 4?
Because on the front cover, it looks like they have long things, they have a crease, and they don't, and they have different shells.
Let's see, what do I want to rate this? First, let me say this kit does say very clearly it's for 12 plus. So 12 plus means that Josh here is actually too young to be doing the kit by himself, and it is not designed for little kids to do. The oil kind of got on everything in the packaging. I don't like the burning plastic. It's not good for you. Plus, on top of that, once you burn the plastic, after a few uses, it's pretty much gone. They're very, very tiny, if I haven't already said that. I felt like they could have been a little bigger. My most disappointed thing about it was that the picture here and in the instructions show you a little votive that has a lip, and that tells you where you're supposed to fill it to and how far you're supposed to fill it. This was all guesswork for us because there was no lip on that. I know I've said that multiple times. When there's no sort of guide for where you're supposed to fill it to, I think that makes it hard to figure out how to balance everything equally. Maybe that's me being a little nitpicky about it. On top of that stuff, maybe it's user error, maybe our wicks went down in the water. I don't really know, but they didn't really work for us, and they're pretty much done now. I mean, we've burned up the wick trying to get it to work out a little better, and the wick is completely burned up. The tray has a big plastic hole, a big burnt hole into it. I'm not saying those aren't user errors. They very well might be. If you got it, you might be able to figure it out just perfectly. I'm saying my personal opinion of this kit is I will give it a 3, I think, because it isn't the worst kit I ever had. It actually had all its components in there, and you didn't have to use a whole bunch of outside things to do it. I needed scissors and water. all good. So I'm going to give it a 3. I have a kid that loves doing the little sand kits where you can layer the sand and stuff. That part of this was fun. If you like doing candles and stuff, certainly go out and try this for yourself. You might have a different experience than we do. If you have an older kid that likes to do projects like this, that can spend their time being very careful with where the wick and the water goes and everything, they might have a better experience. Mine burned for a while. I ended up blowing it out just to look at the plastic hole in it. It might be interesting for you to try. We certainly had fun with it, even though it didn't work out for us, right? Did you still have fun doing the design? And then, yeah, we certainly had fun doing it either way. We hope you guys had a happy Thanksgiving. We're certainly looking forward to Christmas. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to click that like button if you enjoyed this. Please click subscribe if you want to see more videos. Please join us next time. Go forth and discover. Bye!
Bye.
You're supposed to... We hope you guys had a Oh my gosh.
I'm the scissors. I work out for you.